AITA for refusing to meet my wife's ex-boyfriend. My wife stays in contact with her ex who she dated for 5 years before meeting me. All they do is text each other occasionally, which I have no problem with. I explained to her early on that I'm not interested in ever meeting or befriending any of her exes. She agreed and it was never an issue until now. Her ex has moved back to the city where we live and she really wants him and I to meet. Once again I explained to her that I have zero interest in such a meeting. I see no point to it. I don't need his blessing or approval. And I have enough friends. Plus the whole idea just seems awkward. She explained that it would mean a lot to her if I would just meet with him. I asked why and her response was that it will keep his mind at ease knowing that she is with someone good. I snapped a little but didn't raise my voice and asked her, since when does his wants and concerns matter in our marriage? She didn't have answer for this and simply asked me to think about it. I know my answer is not going to change and I'm honestly quite angry about this whole thing. AITA. Also any advice is much appreciated. Thank you. P.C. Don't care if they meet occasionally to catch up. But I think I'll be getting a divorce if they start hanging out on the regular. I love my wife, but I don't think I have her heart. He was her longest relationship aside from me, and she lost her virginity to him. Edit with regards to divorcing her over this. I'd rather divorce her than control her. I didn't tell her that I would do this. It will simply happen. I can control what I do, not meeting him. But I cannot control what she does. It would be better to part ways instead of turning the marriage into a toxic swamp. Now, I do think you have her heart. But then again I don't know you. Love is complicated, but so is platonic love. She might really care for him as a friend, and since his friendship isn't going anywhere and neither are you, she wants two big pieces of her life to fit together. I can almost literally feel the jealousy in this post, but I also understand that you don't have to do anything that makes you uncomfortable. If she wanted you two to meet, she should have phrased it as I want the most important person in my life to meet someone whose friendship really means a lot to me. I wouldn't be the woman you met without him, and I wouldn't be who I am without you. Definitely a mistake on her part to appear as though she cares more about his feelings than yours. Jealousy sucks, but your wife doesn't and neither do you. I know she agreed not to mix those worlds, but that was years ago, and you aren't now who you were then, I'm sure. Revisit it and talk about it nicely. Thanks everybody. Very insightful reply. Thank you. I'm definitely burning with jealousy. We were both equally happy until this variable entered the equation. Now all of a sudden she wants her happiness to increase at the expense of mine, or so it seems to me. I'll probably use that explanation when her and I chat about this. What do you think? I really do not want this guy in my life. NTA. You are under no obligations from anybody ever to meet one of their exes. It's weird. Of course I'm of the mindset that thinks it's strange to keep in contact with your ex, so you can take it for what you will. I expressed that it's weird to be friends with an ex when you're in a whole different relationship a while back and got flamed for it, lol. Seems like Redditors love being friends with their exes. But I personally wouldn't date someone who regularly meets or even texts their ex. NTA. But if you're that concerned about their dynamic, it probably would be to your benefit to see it up close. If not, and she keeps pushing the issue, then I think you need to have a serious talk with her about why he's unwilling to take her word for it that she's happy, and maybe think about counseling to sort through whether your insecurities about genuinely being the one she wants to be with are founded or not. I'm not too concerned about their dynamic. This whole thing screams that neither have fully moved on, in my opinion. NTA. Why does she care so much about her ex? Maybe because he was an important element of her life for a long time. NTA. You've been crystal clear about your boundaries and it's weird she wants her ex's blessing. I was good friends with an ex, and I had them and current boyfriend meet. But everyone was comfortable, and I would have dropped it, even if one party said no thank you. Can you give any insight as to why you had them meet? It might help me understand my wife better. Since when does his wants and concerns matter in our marriage? Good for you. NTA, and your wife is being really weird to place so much importance on an ex from that far back. NTA, the fact alone of how level-headed you seem is amazing. You already, for a lack of a better phrase, allow them to text. You seem like a very confident man. However, why the heck does she keep contact? I couldn't deal with that. How would she feel if you started talking to your ex? It's an ex for a reason. Move on. NTA. It's not right of her to be pushing for you to meet him. Even though you told her it's something you don't want. I asked why, and her response was that it will keep his mind at ease knowing that she is with someone good. For some reason, that irked me a lot. Just the thought that the ex needs to approve the husband. Where was this dude when they got married, or when they first started dating? Guess he wasn't concerned then. Something is fishy here. Either the ex is making a play or the wife still loves the ex. NTA. Like you said, you don't need his approval. If you are uncomfortable with meeting her exes, she should respect that. Just my grain of salt. I don't know what kind of relationship they had, but it's odd that she wants him to be at ease with who she is together with now, and it seems more like she is the one who seeks his blessing. NTA. I was going for a nap before reading her reason for you meeting him. She obviously wants some kind of approval from this guy, which is odd. It would have been a different story if she wanted you two to meet up, to ease some kind of tension, or whatever. NTA. Your wife is more than entitled to having mature, adult friendships with anyone she wants. But her reasoning to put his mind at ease by knowing I'm with someone good is weird. Not saying it's bad, but that's just a really bizarre reason. He could be a great guy. But if you don't want to meet him, don't. I feel like there's a lot of context missing that could change this answer either way. Though. Edit. Didn't see the part about divorce at the bottom. That's a bit extreme without justification that there's something between them. But I can't control your marriage. Wrote this to another editor. But it is applicable here as well. I'll add it in an edit to my main post. I'd rather divorce her than control her. I didn't tell her that I would do this. It will simply happen. I can control what I do, not meeting him. But I cannot control what she does. It would be better to part ways instead of turning the marriage into a toxic swamp. I'm good friends with my ex-boyfriend. Brad, and his new girlfriend Jen was constantly threatened by our friendship. Brad and I genuinely love each other and value each other. But in no way do we want to be together. I was very happy that he was with Jen. They seemed perfect together. We didn't talk that much out of respect for her. But she knew that we were good friends for life. One day he called me on speakerphone and said that he had Jen on the phone with him. She said, "I'm tired of being threatened by you. And I really want to support Brad in his friendships. I have full trust in Brad, and I know I would like you if I got to know you. I want to be mature about this. So, let's do this." Well, I was blown away and so delighted. We all three talked and video chatted for over an hour, and it was so much fun. We don't live in the same town. But I was passing through a month later, and the three of us went out to dinner together and talked for hours. I love her. I love him. I love them together. That was last year, and her and I have been friends since. Everything feels so good. I feel like Op's situation is so different though, considering how this girl seems to take the ex's needs over the husband's. She even wants approval from the ex. Op is clearly upset about this. He doesn't care that they're friends. He cares that she thinks her ex needs to approve of him. NTA. My wife wanted me to meet her ex when we were still dating. Same situation. Dated 5 years. First everything, etc. They were trying the being friends thing when he asked her if he could meet me. So she asked me, and I told her I had zero interest in meeting him. It was left at that. He got married and had blocked my wife on everything, most likely because his wife made him. My wife is still in contact with his mom. Doesn't bother me at all. Every once in a while my wife will get a friend's request from him and she'll accept. But then he later removes her. I think he does this to see how she's doing. The difference between my wife and yours. My wife puts my feelings before him. Your wife is keeping him close, and who knows what the ex is saying to her. I would hate to tell my wife who she can be friends with. But I would definition let her know that her friendship with the ex is now improper. Edit, spelling. This is a great response. Op's wife putting her ex's feelings before her husband's was what really triggered me as off. Not her being friends with an ex. Could be an emotional affair. NTA. Ugh. This triggers me. Years ago I had a very intense serious relationship, not married. That lasted about 4 years. The situation was similar, except that the ex was married. So it gave me a little more comfort that there was no funny business. I did meet him, and he seemed fine enough. We didn't hang out regularly, but their connection was always there. He texted a lot, and they spoke quite regularly, which she didn't hide. One day, I open up Facebook before I quit, and this story is one of the factors that led to my departure. And I see I have a new message, so I click on it. Turns out it wasn't my account. She had logged into Facebook on my computer and forgot to log out. Since we had mutual friends, our feeds looked similar, so I didn't realize I was reading a message intended for her. Setting up a rendezvous in very explicit sexual language. I confronted her, and she claimed that they just joked like that all the time. Needless to say, the relationship never recovered after that, and like we tried to talk it out, it just never felt comfortable again and ended. Edit, I'm not saying that's what's going on here. But having a partner with a very close ex is something I'm not able to deal with well anymore, because above. And this right here is why I'd never be comfortable with my GF being friends with her exes. If you enjoyed this video then hit the like button and subscribe if you'd like to see more future videos.